All right, so you've probably heard this advice before. You need to consolidate your content. You've got too many pages competing against each other, and this is just flat out wrong. This is one of the biggest lies in SEO, and if you follow it, you are going to tank your organic revenue. So let me show you why 99% of agencies are giving you this advice, why it's actually killing your growth. My name is Mike Sack. I'm the owner and founder of SEO Oasis. We've helped dozens of e-commerce brands over the years generate collectively millions of dollars in extra organic revenue. I've talked to a lot of brands, and almost every single one of them has been told at some point, consolidate your pages, merge your collection of pages. You've got keyword cannibalisation, something like this. And it sounds logical, but the problem is it's based on a fundamental misunderstanding of how Google actually works with e-commerce sites. And if you're an e-commerce brand doing at least 6 figures in organic revenue every month, then this could be costing you tens of thousands of dollars, literally every single month. So stick around, because I'm going to break down exactly why this advice is wrong and what you should do instead, and how to actually structure your collection pages to maximize your revenue and not kill it. So let's get into it here. First, let's just go over the myth of keyword cannibalization. The typical agency pitch is something like, you've got too many pages targeting similar keywords. They're cannibalizing each other, right? Google doesn't know which page to rank because they all look the same to Google. And so you need to consolidate them into one page. And so this seems logical at first because you're worried you're competing against yourself for the same keyword. Seems like you have multiple pages targeting the same keyword, and it feels like you're confusing Google. But the thing is, Google doesn't just rank based on keywords alone. It ranks based on intent, relevance, and authority. A different keyword that has different user intent is the type of keyword that you want to build a page targeting, even if it on the surface looks like the same keyword. And to give you an example, let's just take protein powder, right? You could have whey protein powder for women, weight loss, vegan protein powder, best protein powder for weight gain. And someone who's kind of stuck in 2015 SEO is going to say, oh, these are all targeting protein powder. You need to consolidate them, create one big protein powder collection page, and then use keywords to get it to rank for all these different variations. The issue with that, each of these keywords that we're looking at has completely different search intent. Someone searching for vegan protein powder is not looking for whey protein powder. Someone searching for protein powder for weight loss is not searching for protein powder for weight gain. So if you consolidate all these products into a single page, and let's say you get lucky, it does rank well for all these different variations, even though it's not going to, but let's say it does. Let's say someone searching protein powder for weight loss is going to land on that page and find a bunch of different products, some of which have tons of carbs in it, because that's the type of product that someone searching for protein powder for weight gain is probably looking for. Protein powder with extra calories, whereas someone searching for weight loss is looking for as little calories as possible. And so you're destroying your specific relevance to try and fit this mold of what SEO looks like 10 years ago, and trying to cover as many different topics with one page by consolidating pages. So the reason this is actually dangerous, let's break this down step by step here. What actually happens when you consolidate a page? One, you're going to lose those long tail rankings. If you have a page ranking number 3 for protein powder for women, which has 12,000 searches per month, for example, and you consolidate it into just one general protein powder page, the chances of you continuing to rank 3rd for protein powder for women goes down dramatically. You're going to lose that specific ranking because you're no longer serving a page that is specifically for a woman searching for protein powder for women, right? You've just created a page that covers everything, and Google doesn't want to serve a page like that because someone searching protein powder for women doesn't want a list of protein powders that all have like an angry ape on them and saying like grow a bunch of muscle, right? Generally speaking. And so you're going to lose this very specific high purchase intent keyword ranking, and therefore you're going to lose revenue because you're no longer driving people to this page. This is real revenue loss. This is not a theoretical SEO problem, right? We're not talking rankings here. We're talking revenue. The second consequence of doing this is that you do relevance. One protein powder page trying to target 5 different intents is not specific to anyone. It doesn't serve any specific user well. Google is going to see it as just lacking focus, lacking clarity, specificity, and it's going to, well, and again, you're not going to rank for any of these terms really well. Let's go back to the hypothetical where, let's say you didn't lose any rankings. Your conversion rate's, again, going to drop because you're sending people to a page that has a bunch of different products that aren't relevant to them, right? You can imagine a user journey where they search protein powder for weight loss. They land on a page with pure whey protein isolate with no extra calories. That is going to convert way higher than a page that has collagen protein, whey protein isolate, whey protein with carbs in it, all these different types of protein that aren't really what they're looking for. They're just going to bounce off of it because they can't find the thing that they want right away. And the third consequence is that you're just giving up real estate on Google. Before you had a page ranking for 5 different keywords, you've consolidated all of them. And let's say even if you rank well for this one keyword now, you've just given up 4 spots for your competitors to show up on. Just because you're doing this thing, consolidating the pages, doesn't make it mean it's the right thing to do. And you've just opened up those spots for competitors to jump in and start taking that traffic. So you're just voluntarily shrinking your presence on Google. So why would you ever want to do that? Again, the agency that's telling you to do this they're just applying blog SEO logic to e-commerce. They're looking for keyword overlap inside of their tools without understanding the intent. The keyword search, they're frankly trying to come up with a bunch of reasons to make them look like they're super smart and why they should pay you. And the fundamentals of SEO apply across every category of business, SaaS, e-commerce, local. It's all the same concepts, but the actual tactics and strategies are very different. So someone telling you that you need to consolidate collection pages is probably coming from a completely different sector of business. They're probably coming from the B2B world, and it does not apply to e-commerce. Here's what you need to do instead. You need to do the opposite. You need to have strategic expansion of your collection pages, not consolidation. You want more collection pages, not fewer. But you have to do this very strategically, not randomly. What I'm about to walk you through is exactly how billion-dollar brands like Gymshark, for example, do this. And what it comes down to is the first thing to cover is that I want to walk you through the framework that we use internally at our company to think about this. The way we think about this is you have what I call wicks and mix. And this is wildly important keywords and mildly important keywords. So what this is a wildly important keyword is this is the big term that you want to rank for, right? Let's say you're selling protein powder. Now, I know I just went through saying all the reasons you want to rank for specific versions of protein powder, but obviously you want to rank for just generally for protein powder as well, because tons of people are they don't know what they want. They're just searching protein powder. And so what a wick would, in this example, it would be protein powder, because this is a keyword that if you were to rank for, it has hundreds of thousands, if not millions of searches per month at a global level. If you were to rank first for it, you'd obviously drive tons and tons of revenue from that just because you're showing up first. And so if it drives a meaningful amount of revenue for you, that's a wick. There's a few other caveats there, but that's the main one. And then a mick in this case would be, right, so we got our wick here in the center, protein powder. And then a mick is going to be long tail variations of this keyword. So for protein powder, what we're talking here is protein powder for women, protein powder isolate, protein powder for weight loss, protein powder for weight gain, vegan protein powder, grass-fed, chocolate, vanilla, right? All these different variations you can have. And you build out collection pages targeting all these, obviously with the products on there that match that intent. And then you want to create an internal linking structure that supports this main keyword. So the first key internal link on all these collection pages needs to point to this main collection page here. And this is because the first link on a page carries the most SEO authority. And so you can kind of think of all these internal links as casting one vote and telling Google, hey, this page is great for this specific search, but this main category page, collection page, is the one that holds all the authority. This is the one that we want to rank super, super well. Not that you don't want these to rank, sub-collection pages to rank well, but these are less competitive pages, and so they don't need as much. It's much easier to rank well for them. And so you want to put all your focus in getting that page to rank well for the super competitive keyword. And then, of course, you want to link all these laterally, as I would call it, just so that Google knows that they're related when you're not creating any like orphan pages on your website. Again, also just gives Google more context around this topic. It builds authority within this topic, and that authority then gets passed along to the main collection page. Now, within each of these pages, what this is going to look like is, of course, you'll have your H1 with the primary keyword, protein powder for weight loss, let's say in this case. You'll have a little snippet at the top, just 1 or 2 sentences, not enough to push the product grid down, but enough to give a little bit more context about the collection page, get some keywords in there, one or two more times. Then you'll have the product grid here, just like any collection page, and then description below the product grid with an H2 that again has the primary, a little bit of text, some H3s. Typically the H3s are common questions people have about it and secondary keywords. And then within the text below that, you're answering the question, answering the FAQ. And you do that a few more times, however many FAQs you think are relevant or selling points or pain points that these products solve. And then you can have, what I like to do with the collection page internal links is just, you can have them naturally throughout this text here, but I like to be very explicit in my internal links. And you can just say something like, here's some related collections, and then link directly to, first of all, the main collection page, then whey protein powder for women, and then blank to whey protein powder for men, right? Whatever the next related collection page is. And then yeah, that's kind of the structure of every collection page. I should say, if you are adding links naturally throughout the content, the first link has to be to the main collection page. And then these second, third, fourth, fifth links are linking to other collection pages within the cluster. And this just has a really great compounding effect because each MIC page can rank for its specific keyword, passes that authority along to the main WIC page, and then your WIC page becomes stronger over time and becomes more competitive for that super tough keyword that it's trying to rank for. And you end up dominating this entire topic cluster, not just a single keyword. And again, you own, in this case, super specific spots, and then hopefully also this one super competitive spot. And just to walk you through like a case study of how this works super well, for Roof Nest, they were struggling quite a bit they sell rooftop tents. They were struggling for quite a while to rank for the keyword rooftop tent. This is a big keyword, has I think 135K searches per month, which is a lot of searches. It's very, very competitive. Lots of people trying to rank for it. But the one thing they didn't have is they had a collection page for each model of rooftop tent that they made, but they didn't have collection pages for each model of car, size of the tent. And this is something that I see quite often on e-commerce sites, is they know people land on their site and are looking for a very specific version of the thing that they sell. And so in the navigation, they set up links that point to these specific versions of what they sell. So in the case of Roof Nest, they sell rooftop tents, and they know someone landing on their homepage is probably looking for rooftop tent for Jeep. And instead of building because they own a Jeep, right? Obviously. But instead of creating a collection page for Jeep rooftop tents, they just send them to the main rooftop tent collection page, but in the URL, use some filtering parameters to only show the ones that work for Jeeps. So they're just sending them to the same page over and over again. I see this all the time. It's kind of funny. Like, these e-commerce brand owners know that this is important because they have it set up this way. They have their navigation set up this way, but they don't have individual pages for each one of these. And so this main rooftop tent, the H1 on it is just rooftop tent. It has no chance of ranking for Jeep rooftop tent, Toyota rooftop tent, 2-person, 3-person, 4-person rooftop tent, because it can't possibly cover all that intent with just one page. And so anyway, what we ended up doing was doing exactly that, building out for Jeep, Toyota, 2-person, 3-person, 4-person, whatever, a bunch of these different, I think we built 30 or 40, maybe even more collection pages within the span of 6 to 8 weeks, I would say. And let me just show you this real quick. This is the real Slack channel I have with them. And you can see here, May 16th is the date. We started with them March 31st. So essentially the beginning of April was when we started working with them. And by May 16th, I posted this screenshot in the Slack, rooftop tent, boom, they're ranking first. And so I'll just say it works. That's not just a screenshot too, that's the real Slack channel. And because they're ranking first for this huge keyword that has 135,000 searches per month, we were able to drive an extra $180,000 in organic revenue for them over the course of 3 months, I think. So an extra $60,000 a month, something like that. And so it works. Now, I've obviously left out a lot of nuance in this video. Generally speaking, you never want to consolidate, but obviously there are rare cases where it does actually make sense. Someone might watch this video or watch a different video and get the idea that they need to build a page for whey protein powder for weight loss and a collection page for weight loss protein powder, because those are, seemingly two separate keywords. They have their own separate search volumes. One is a more common variation of the search than the other. So maybe this one has, 2,000 searches per month and this one has 3,500. You might look at that and be like, oh, okay, different search volumes, different keywords, but it doesn't take a genius to realize someone searching these two things are looking for the exact same thing. And going back to what I said earlier in the video, Google ranks based off of intent, not the keywords now. And so if I were to find an e-commerce site with collection pages targeting both of these things, I would consolidate them, because even though they're not exactly the same keyword, they do have the exact same intent. And the way I would decide which page to keep and which page to get rid of is these are definitely going to be competing against each other. And so one, just by virtue of maybe existing first or having more internal links or something like that, is going to be ranking better and actually getting more traffic. And so I just choose the one that is ranking better, driving more revenue, and then combine the other one into that, or just get rid of it, set up a 301 redirect, canonical tag, whatever. There's a couple ways to go about it. But in this case, I would actually consolidate. Now you have to be careful here. I don't want you to get to the end of this video and then forget everything I just said. This is very rare. I think most people understand that this is a bad idea to do, targeting both of these keyword variations. What you have to do is, if you're not sure if you should consolidate a page or not, or even think about consolidating it, just think about what is the intent behind the search. If the intent behind the search for two different keywords that you have pages for is the exact same, consolidate them. It's usually pretty obvious. Again, it doesn't take a genius to figure this out. If they're slightly different, you could make a case for consolidating them, but I would argue it's probably better to keep both of them. And then in that case, you just have to look at, how long has the page been around? Is it ranking for anything? Is it driving revenue? And if none of those things are true, or if it has been around for a while, but it's still not ranking well, still not getting traffic, still not generating revenue, then you can make a case to consolidate it. So there are some gray area cases, but for the most part, it's either really obvious that you should consolidate them or very obvious that you should not. And yeah, so in terms of like what you should do now, based off of everything I just said, what you should do is just create a spreadsheet of all the collection pages you have. Make sure each one is targeting a specific primary keyword. Figure out how it's going to Google Search Console. Figure out what it's currently ranking, or if you have SEMrush tracking these keywords, that'd be a little bit more accurate, because the average position in Google Search Console is not super reliable. And then once you have the spreadsheet, figure out what are your wicks, what are your wildly important keywords. Make sure you have a collection page for each one of them. Then based on each wick, you'll have, some number of mix that you'll want. Make sure you have a collection page for all those. And then make sure you've got the internal linking like we talked about between the mix and the wicks, and then set up keyword tracking. I wouldn't rely on Google Search Console with the average position. I would buy a ranking tracking tool like SEMrush or Ahrefs or SE ranking. And then, just start tracking the keywords that are important to you. And if you find that a page has been up for a month or two and still isn't ranking, go back to it, re-optimize it, find more internal links to point to it. If it's still not ranking a few months later, you can probably make the case for just removing it so you're not taking up a crawl budget. But for the most part, again, unless a page is very obviously targeting the exact same search intent, continue expanding. Don't contract your reach. So the next time an agency tells you to consolidate your content, ask them why, grill them, ask them if they understand the difference between keyword cannibalization and strategic keyword clustering, because a lot of them don't. They might say they do, but if they're telling you to consolidate, they're probably coming from a non-e-commerce background. And look, if you want me and my team to do this for you, if you want us to audit your site, identify your wicks and your mix, and build out the collection pages and set up the internal linking structure like I just went over, there's a link in the description below. You can book a call with me. We'll go over your specific brand, figure out if this makes sense for you. And if you have any questions, drop a comment below. I'll answer every single one that comes through. Subscribe if you care to, and I'll catch you in the next one.